This is the actual ebook. It's 26 pages. A beautiful front cover here. And it's called the Homework Truce because you are not fighting anymore. You and your teenager in the house are going to come to an agreement, hopefully. So let's see. Can I show you the first few that end the study fight tonight? Now you're not going to fight all three battles in one evening. So maybe that should have said three scripts that end the study fight over 3 nights. But here we go. Let's have a look. I did create this from scratch after doing quite a bit of research. I gave the problem to Perplexity, and Perplexity's used a lot of credits to work out what the right protocol is internationally. Now, it says here, and it's a little presumptuous, it says 3 things I already know about you. You are tired, you've tried more than people give you credit for, and somewhere in the last 6 months, maybe longer, you've had a thought you haven't said out loud. I don't know what to do with my own child anymore. So, parents, this is for those of you that are dealing with a difficult teenager. I remember a friend of mine said the other day about his daughter. She was so cute when she was a baby. Now she's all grown up in high school. And he said to me, but he's so sad. I wish I could show you his expression. He was like, yeah, I remember when she still liked me. And I felt so sorry for him because they are not getting along. She's very moody. She's beautiful and she's lovely and she can be such a sweet girl. But when she has a bad day, she has a terrible one. And it's normal, right? We all were teenagers in some of our cases very, very long ago. Okay. But if the compassion and the empathy is there. So let's have a look. It says here, 1, tonight, not next week. 2, print them. 3, failure is information. Okay, so I'll be debriefing you all the way. I'm not going to share this with you. I'll just give you a sneak peek. This is for the parents. It says, a short word about me because the internet is full of people who shouldn't be giving parenting advice. My name is Lawrence, Deputy Principal at Public High School in Johannesburg. Actually, Roodepoort, which is to the west end, which is very different from Johannesburg, but that's not important. I do have a very big school. It is about 1,550 learners, and it is challenging. Luckily, we have a very good team. And I have an excellent principal and a colleague that's my other deputy principal. We work together very well, 2 ladies. I believe that ladies make better managers. Many people won't agree with me, but that's my opinion. Right. So the point of saying that in the first place, parents, is just to give you an idea. I'm not talking from just research on an AI. I've been in the classroom for 30 years and I've been around the world. I'm 55 this year. Yes, it is true. I don't have my own kids. I don't know what it's like to raise a child in my own house, but I've had many thousands of kids, hundreds every year, that I've helped to raise at school in loco parentis. So I know teenagers and I speak to their parents often. And now, because I'm not in the class so much as a deputy principal, you're dealing with problems all the time. So I know what it's like to talk to teenagers and I know what it's like to help parents. And I don't always know what to do. I'm not a professional therapist. Please accept that as a disclaimer. When you read my work, it is my opinion. If you have a serious problem with your teenager, please, 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 please go and see someone that is a qualified therapist who is experienced with working with the psychological aspects. If they need medication, go see a doctor, go see a psychiatrist. Please don't let me be the person who gets into trouble with you because we make the wrong decision. Uh, my advice is for those everyday battles and is for those everyday occurrences where we can't get the kids to do their homework. You cannot get your teenager to wash the dishes. They are lying on the bed, they've got the phone in the hand, and they are tick-tocker, up and down the screen, and there's no homework happening. And the moment they get told off, as they say, then they lose it. They lose their tempers. They throw tantrums. They are moody. They give one-word answers. This is what this is for. This specific book. Okay. So we are going to be able to work with this. And parents are we've gone through a lot of work There's de-escalation openers. We are not going to attack the kids. You know, if I think about these red questions here, have you studied? It's not a good question to ask a teenager. Why aren't you studying? You know, well, mom, I'll give you a reason. I don't like it and I don't want to, and it's boring. And I'd rather be on my PlayStation or with my chummies online. Then I've got lots of energy. But when I have to do actual studying for my exam and really sit on my backside and get those books out, then I have no energy at all. So ironic. Okay, that's this one. Then, and there's 20 pages of very good advice. And I actually give you the scripts. If you want to print them, I'd also include the print version. So the homework truth is also available in black and white that we can print it for our kids. And it's not for them only, it's for you to do your steps. I had it nicely printed up so that it looks professional, I hope. That's the homework truth. Today we are talking about the package called the Complete Teen Study Reset. And I'm inside my little PDF here, and it's called Conversations That Open Teenagers Up. And the title came to me because I was doing a whole lot of research about what teenagers really say, what parents really say, and what teachers really say. It's very interesting, if people are honest, what they come up with and what they complain about. This is the version that talks about what keeps teenagers just talking. And although the image is really beautiful, we have to go inside the book to see what's going on. And if I can jump into the book quickly, let me just see if I can find the file. There we are. Conversations that open up. And they don't just open up the door, that's always closed. They also open up the teenage mind. And this is what we want. So if you get this book, this is 50 pages, A4 size or letter size if you're an American. And you will be able to get this at some stage at lawrencebrittonbottom/bridge.com, because it's all about building a bridge. And it's about conversations that open teenagers up. So we want to reconnect. We are using quite a few keywords repeatedly the last few months while I'm doing these products. Teachers, parents, learners all agree it's about resetting, connecting, and then refocusing. So in this booklet, I call it a booklet, but it's basically a book because it's 50 full pages. We're going to learn how to speak to one another again. And I call it the Parent-Teen Smile Maker Protocol. It's not going to fix all the problems. It's definitely not going to solve all the problems. And it will probably just get things started so that you can continue your conversations. But I think those of us that deal with teenagers a lot is we are all aware of the fact that we need to just listen to them in the first place. I wanted to scroll down and show you a bit of this so you can get an idea of how to use the book and the chapters. There's 10 of them. There's even a 30-day conversation reset where we do a month-long different trick setup. We talk about homework. We talk about repairing ruptures, so where there was misalignment. And if you have a difficult teen, then we are going to have to talk about that bridge. And repeatable steps is the secret. Yeah. If we don't do things differently, then things do not become different. I always say, and this was not my quote, this was Wayne Dyer, who said, you change the way you look at things, and the things that you look at will change. So I think it's applicable to our youngsters too. One of the first things I said in the book is we were all teenagers. In my case, it was very, very long ago, but we are all still sensitive to the way we felt. If you go into your memory banks, parents, and you will find that it was a difficult time. I definitely don't want to be a teenager again. So let's be more compassionate and patient. We don't always have the patience. And you might say, yeah, it's easy for you to say you don't have kids. Well, it's true. I don't have my own children, but I do have lots of kids that I deal with at school. You know, when you are a teacher and you have to talk to teenagers, then you learn a few things over 30 years. So this is the look of the book. There's quite a few chapters, and we have a listening contract. I think this is important. It's fashionable now. It's the thing to do. It's not new, where we sit and we talk about talking. I have found that when I talk to teachers and with learners that are not getting along, I say to them, okay, let's reset and let's find out what the rules should be. How are we going to do things differently? And this is my line that I keep saying over and over. I say, there must be a different way for all of us to talk to one another. There must be a different way for me and you to speak to each other. Once you've said that, and you acknowledge the fact that you're tired of fighting and you don't want to do it anymore, then you say, all right, let's see now. What do we want to make the rules? What if we're going to play this game? Let's make some rules. If we get on the soccer field, there are very strict rules. If you go on the rugby field, there are very strict, different rules. Now, this game of talking to one another, 2 generations apart, also has rules. And some of those rules include listening. The more you listen, the easier it gets. And I'm not going to go through this whole book. This is why you have to get it. But here's one line, and it works very well. If you see a child, I'm saying child, but we're talking teens, we're talking young adults, right? If you say, I can see you're upset. I don't want to give you any instructions. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Do you want to vent, or do you want help processing it? Or would you like me to give you some input? And there are some stats here. I think it's 64%. I'm going to quickly look for this. There we go. 62. What young people say they need. I want to zoom in here, parents. Look at this. The clearest research finding in this book is also the least complicated. In 2024, the Gallup survey is very, very famous piece of research. 62% of young people said they wanted parents to listen when they were upset. Just listen. What do we do? Let me tell you what to do. Yeah. Let me tell you now. Come, you listen to me. Let me tell you what to do. It's not going to work. Listen to them. 62%. 56% wanted space, so leave them alone for a while until they want to talk. Only 28% said they wanted advice. And they can overlap these categories. If you add them up, it doesn't give you 100. But in most cases, they don't want you to respond immediately. And so we have to move away from, let me tell you a thing or two, young man, or let me, in my day, I can tell you a story or two. Let's stop doing that all the time. There's a time and a place for a story. I sound like my dad now because I thought to myself when I was a youngster, he did that all the time. When I was young, then now I sound like him. But it's normal, I guess, when you get older. Parents, I think you get the idea. There's a lot going on here. This is a fantastic little ebook. I'm going to read it a few times more because I'm still learning from it. I wrote it with the brains of at least 4 different clever robots. And although I have had to do some heavy, heavy editing, I have still not gotten all of it down. The terminology can be quite intimidating. So my main job was to make it consumable, digestible, because you can get stuck into theory and there's a big rabbit hole to go down. Our challenge and my job, I feel, is to break it down, unpack it so that it becomes consumable and you can absorb it. But yeah, there's my little book. And let me quickly show you what else is in the package. The Teen Anchor System is a parent magazine that's a part of the Reset package. There's the Teen Booklet, my week, my progress, and it's all part of the Teen Reset Command Center, as I call it, which is a 2-in-1. And what this is also very colorful ebooks that are workbooks, where we plan a week. I'm going to do a special video on how it works and how it will be applicable to you. All I can say right now, in an effort to save time, is, do you remember when we were still buying magazines? Some of us still do, but they're so expensive now, it's ridiculous. But do you remember when, maybe in your country, if you opened up a magazine and there was a little booklet in the middle for the kids? That was very exciting. In the middle of the book was a booklet for the kids. We fought over getting to that insert, and it was full of jokes and puzzles and cartoons and comic strips, and we loved it. So the 2 booklets that I've created, I wonder if I can quickly pop it in here. Let me see. Here's an anchor system. It's still in Word format in this one. Let me see if I can do the PDF that's easier to read. There it is. It's the anchor system, because if you read any good book about study methods these days, planning and setting up timetables is not enough. Well, they talk about anchors. They've been talking about anchors for a few years now. And what is an anchor? It is when you promise yourself to do something at a specific time. So instead of saying slotting in between 2 and 3 mathematics, between 3 and 4 it's geography, now we are going to say, at 3 o'clock, when I walk into the house, I'm going to have a snack, and then I'm going to put my bag down and sit on my bed for 10 minutes to check my phone. And then I'm going to put it down and do half an hour's mathematics. That's an anchor. So the problem is bigger than homework and slotting in time slots. We are going to have to get to a point where we do anchors. And reminders are also a problem these days, because we always disappointed in our to-do lists. To-do lists never stop. They never end. They are bottomless, literally bottomless, because the to-do list can continue on the next page and then on the next page, and it goes down and down. But if we have 5 slots, if you say, okay, for today, I'm going to just do 3 things. This is the parent magazine, so there's no slots. It's just an explanation. Let me go to the other one. Okay, here's my book. Here we go. What am I working towards? 2 things. My first choice reward, second place. And then that's negotiated with the child. And we give choice credits. So it's like getting out of jail free cards. So let's say, this was my idea. If you have 10 things to do and you have 10 anchors now, it's like, and I've put drinking water on, because many times our kids have headaches because they're dehydrated. I mean, us as adults are dehydrated. That's why we get headaches too. But let's say we've got all these anchors here. Unpack my school bag, check tomorrow's timetable, etc. And let's say they do 8. Then they can use 2 of the choice and the recovery credits. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at my own idea. The whole idea is to let them get 10 out of 10, even if they just got 8 out of 10. Because it's not punitive. This is just a gamified organizing tool. Can you see how it works? I think it's a cool idea. I hope it helps. There's Monday. We're just going to slot in 5 things. We don't need more. And if mathematics gets a turn, great. If it's the life orientation assignment, that's awesome. The child will do the choosing. And I'm telling you now, parents, this is what research shows us. Anchors. What am I doing and at what time? I'm going to walk the dog at 4 o'clock. I'm going to come back at 4:30. I'm going to take a shower. 5 o'clock, it's dinner time. Immediately after dinner, I'm going to sit down and do 20 minutes of reading in my English novel. There's an anchor for you. So this is all part of the package, and I hope this helps for organizing your teen's day and minimizing conflict. It is part of the Teen Reset Command Center. Isn't that a dramatic title? I hope you like it, and I hope it makes a difference in your home.